Next, we have the lawn care bids for the 24-25 school year. First, you have the memo from me, just stating what it was. Next, you have the request for bids, which is the bid packet, which is a pretty thorough packet. You can see it spells out how many times, what it is per mowing, in case we have to have more services or less services depending on weather. We opened up bids Friday. You can see the two bids, I've attached those. There's a bid tabulation sheet, and after that you see the bids. One was from Tristan Ward for $57,550. One is for Natural State Landscaping for $57,450. The next page in your packet, you can see what we spent in 2023 for mowing services. We spent $16,600 at the RES RHS campus. Benny Dixon through Head Start, we spent approximately $5,400, and then Jeffy Hyde at the Allison House about $1,550. So for 2023, we spent approximately $23,000 doing the methods that we had done in the past. Our bids that came in, they were a little more exact. They were spelled out where to try and address some concerns to make sure we were doing things exactly where we were controlled, how many times we were mowing, came in quite a bit higher than what we were accustomed to. So Mr. King and Miss Tina and I opened up the bids, talked about them. The way, from our point of view, and Mr. King would be glad to speak to this as well as Miss Tina, we're all three here. There are some options the board has. You could accept the bid as is presented. We could go back to the current people that are mowing and ask if they would like to continue mowing, or we can purchase equipment and bring it back in-house and hire an employee. So those are the three options that we brainstormed and came up with. There might be others, but those were the three options we had talked about up on the bid opening.
Could we open the bid back up a little bit longer?
You could, that might be frowned upon by the legal would probably say so now that you've opened it up and publicized how much it was. If you open it back up, you're letting people see how much it was and then trying to undercut.
Okay.
I have a question.
That's a little much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's on the way that it's outlined, says the contractor shall provide the wait a minute. Contracted price on a per cut or service basis each property. Cleveland County School District Campus, Cleveland County Baseball Softball Fields, Bush Hogging Cleveland County Baseball Softball Complex, twice yearly, fall and spring. Kingsland Head Start, Highway 79 South Kingsland, Head Start Admin Building, 100 East 2nd, Rising Early Head Start, 600 Main Street, Rising, Arkansas. Where does that leave the rest of Kingsland campus?
How did you, when you did the tours, how did you explain
We've
it?
been doing.
Just in front of Head Start?
Yes.
Does that whole campus not belong to Cleveland County School District?
Well, I think that's a given, yes it does. I mean,
Then I think that needs to be included in the mowing and the upkeep.
yeah, some of this can start, if I could be mistaken, because I've only been here 8 months, part of Kingsland Playground has been deeded to the city of Kingsland, has it not? So it's not our property.
And the city takes care of that. The
Okay.
city will be taking care of that.
But you know, there's more to Kingsland campus than just the front. There's the side of the old gym, there's the side between the gym and the music room. Then you got in between the main building and those outskirt classrooms. Then you got the old shop building and all that down there. That's it's still part of the campus.
There were briars growing on the one-way street fence. Briars growing in the central heat and air unit outside along that side. I think, just my opinion, I mean, that's part of this campus, that's part of this school district, that needs to be maintained. It needs to be included in the mowing.
Mhm.
I think it's the city's responsibility to keep the school over there from looking like a condemned vacant building.
Is the, I know the city had helped in the past, was it just on the playground, or do you remember?
As far as I can recollect, it was just the
It was just playground, for some reason, I'm going back quite a ways, I think.
Miss
I
Connie
thought-
May can help us out on a little bit.
I'm talking about before.
Howard mows for the city, Howard has the bush hog, and Howard will go toward the end on Highway 97 where the big drain is. Howard goes around all that, Howard will go up the one-way street. Howard has helped the guy that bought the superintendent's house, cause it stays wet in that ditch on Highway 79, and those big old water grass things grow
What they
up.
call it?
Howard will mow it, but it's not Howard's place.
Yeah, I didn't, I thought, at one time, I thought there was an agreement with the city to do some of that, but I may be completely mistaken, because I don't know what we mow, what we don't over there, but I don't know how much it is, it's not really mowed.
It's not much, I mean.
No, it's not a lot, but
I mean, it still needs to be mowed and be taken, you know, taken
I
care
agree.
of, you know.
And I would have taken that as, where it says, Kingston Head Start, to me, I would take that as whatever's there. That's the way I would take that, it may not be.
But you showed just the front, David?
But that,
And those portions you're talking about, we were sending Tristan over in the fall.
you can tell, you can easily tell what they mow and what they do not mow.
And and the part of that in front of the, homemade building stays wet, so sometimes it makes it difficult
yeah.
Mhm.
to get that.
It does.
And it gets to looking real shabby.
It does.
Yeah, I remember that, I remember talking about that, so.
Mhm. But what's
I would say-
inside the fence, you know, the old shop building, which is now classrooms and stuff.
I mean, it's just, to me, it's an embarrassment, it's part of the school district, it's an embarrassment on the school, it's an embarrassment on the city to let this grow up.
Mhm.
Well, I think the bids are too high, and we need to come back to the board and,
Yeah,
you know, if we need to approach these people who have done it in the past and maybe change a little bit of the layout of what they're supposed to be tending to.
At that cost, you could hire someone,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
and you would have plenty of other things that that person couldn't do when they were mowing, if that makes more sense.
So is that what, did you mention that basically giving 3 options?
Yes,
Did you just,
I don't wanna speak for Davey and Tina, but we all thought the bids were too high for our budgetary purposes, correct? Okay, so we thought the other 2 options were hiring somebody, but then by the time we hire and buy the equipment, we're going to be back to that, about that
we'll
cost.
spend that?
We're gonna spend that, plus they're gonna have a trailer and access to a truck to transport back and forth, so, we're going to go back to the drawing board, but I just wanted y'all to know what the bids netted from going out, trying to have clear expectations, to address some prior concerns.
well, I know, I talked to someone who did not bid and said they had considered bidding, but the way they read it, like, if it was a month that they were supposed to mow weekly, it rained like it has been, you know, instead of it's up to the discretion at the end of it, where the school, or either they would owe because they couldn't perform a service, or if it was, that's why my understanding was, it would be made up, you know, it could be made up, if you're supposed to mow 4 weeks and, you know, the rain came in and everything, and you couldn't, then one of those months where you were supposed to mow 2, you mow 3, or
But that,
something.
that was a concern of the board, that sometimes we were mowing and it didn't need it, so we tried to spell it out, like March, one service, April through September,
Right.
a service a week. What we did give the prerogative was, if like in October, you get, or pardon me, August, you get a drought and it doesn't need to be mowed, we would skip a week. Or if it's 100 degrees and raining like crazy and we need to add a mowing in there, we could. And they true up at the end of the month. For example, Helen would send a bill and say, for the month of August, we actually mowed 5 times the way the month fell. They would do the dates, August 1, August 6. Davey would document based on the weather thing, how much heat there was plus rain, and that month we might pay extra. So that's why we got a cost per mowing. So that way, based on weather fluctuating, we don't want them to come up and just make up just to get a mowing in. We just want it when it's needed,
Okay.
and the weather dictates how much. That's why we try to spell it out and take care of some concerns in the past. So I thought that was about the best way to do it.
Okay.
You don't just want to get in a mowing, you want to get it a mowing when it's needed.
Right.
So that's how we try to spell it out,
Okay.
if that's a little more clear.
Can I mention, I mean, I see what you're saying about the do it this time, not do it this time. If it was in-house, that wouldn't be an issue.
I mean, how much is a good riding lawnmower cost nowadays?
10,000.
And it lasts for how many years?
Using it commercially, I would say 4 to 5 at best.
Make sure you get a good commercial one if you're gonna build that route
Mm-hmm.
with a big enough stick.
But again, you gotta have a truck and a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And we also need somewhere to store it. We're not blessed here on this campus with a place to store it.
There's a bus shop over at Kingsland.
Right, so are you gonna bus everything over there and keep it there? That's not the most efficient thing to do.
No, but that's part of this campus, and it's a usable space.
Right,
And
It's
it's
just-
8 miles that way. My opinion.
I think our best bet is we'll try to go and see if these people, individuals would continue doing it and maybe adjust the Kingsland campus to where we include the areas it's not getting touched, getting mowed.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be our best option for us, money wise.
Or can we let these fellas know that, hey, they said, would you like to rebid? Or there again, would it be? Cause I mean, they're basically the same, I mean, they're within $100.
So that must, I was shocked after we opened the second one. I was like, market must dictate 57,000. You can do that like with construction, you would call that value engineering. We could do that, you just, it's quite not as clean as what you would like, but we can attempt that.
I mean, I would give them the option to, I don't know, reevaluate their bid. And, if they don't, then talk to Mr. Jacobs.
Can we table this so that there can be more research done now that this issue has come up?
What research is it you want us to look into?
Well, I would like to have the campus included. It's not technically included in the outline. We're changing aspects of the contract and stuff, and, you know, you get quotes on tractors, you get quote on a trailer. You get a revision of their bids. I mean, there's just too much ifs and ands right now, in my opinion, to make a decision. There needs to be a lot of other stuff looked into.
I think 3 options that we talked about. One, we've all what I've heard is the bids are too high. I've heard that with an interest in going back and looking at the way we did it before, and also I've heard say about buying equipment, but I guess the way that we need to proceed is we could have motion to do whatever, one of those two, or table it, and see how that, we'll have a motion and vote, see how we all feel about that.
Okay, I make a motion to table it so that each member can do some more research and address it at another time.
Davey wants to say something.
I'm sorry.
In case y'all do have any question, this gentleman here is with Natural Landscaping, in case you do have any
Okay.
questions for us.
I'm with Natural State, so if, there's any questions, concerns about cost of anything we need to break down further, I'd be happy to answer that.
Appreciate that.
Would you be willing to go back and look at your bid and see if you could knock it down some?
I would be willing to work with y'all on the cost, and we could definitely see how much further we could break it down. I don't think there would be much room to go down the cost of fuel and equipment and labor. As y'all know, all that is very high.
So did you have an idea of how many employees it would take for you to do this mowing?
So on a job site this size, it'd be about 4 employees, including myself, so me plus 3 others will run about 4 pieces of equipment on it. So that's 4 lawn mowers. Obviously all of your small equipment, it'll take us 2 trucks, 2 lawn mowers per vehicle. You pay your employees about $20 an hour, cause it is hard work, especially in the summertime with 100-degree temperatures. So by the time you do all the adding, it does come up to about what we bid it, whether it was to the school district or contracting.
Would there be any opportunity for you to reduce the number of employees that it took to do the job? Could you do it with 2?
Yes, but it would take longer. It would be significantly longer with only 2 employees on this job site. And on the I did hear y'all's concerns on the Kingsland School District. Our bid on that did include the entire property, the inside the gate, outside the gate, front side of the school district, and I believe there's a bus yard, a small bus yard to the left of it. It did include that as well.